Good day to you, fellow crafters. Today, we are back here at the ice farm. I know in the last video, we said that we were going to be setting up an auto sorter and linking up a bunch of our item farms, but running around in the nether a whole lot, and running around in the nether is actually a big pain. So, we are now here at the manual ice farm, and we're going to do some renovations and set this up as a semi-auto ice farm. Something that is AFKable. Now, currently the way that this works is this is so far away from our base that getting back and forth from here and probably also to the witch farm that I want to build, plus all of the other places that I have linked up in the nether, takes a lot out of you on hunger, so it requires a lot of meat to get around, plus it's also time consuming. If I had an elytra, most of the places that I do frequent, I would probably just fly over to it. But places that are farther away, you kind of need a different method of travel, so that's why we use the nether. So all the way up here, this is the closest place I could find that would actually freeze water. So basically how it is set up is, you just saw that block right there. It's basically a pool of water on top of this mountain that's able to freeze ice. From one corner to the opposite corner on the adjacent side, you have slabs going over top so that these remain as water sources. So if these freeze over, you crack them open, it's still a water source, it'll still provide water. But basically you stand here and you wait until it freezes, then you use your Silk Touch pickaxe to mine up the ice. Now, it might be pretty fast to actually collect the ice. However, you can see right here, I should probably be using a different pickaxe because this one will insta-mine stone bricks, no problem. But it does pick up a good amount of ice. See, we've already got a stack and a quarter, and there's still some more to pick up. But it also takes a while. You gotta stand here, and you just gotta wait. Wait for this to freeze over. Well, I'm kind of tired of waiting for it to just freeze over and then go in and start collecting ice. So I wanted something a little bit more automatic and AFKable. I only really found one half decent one, but it involved a flying machine, and I don't like using those. I don't like those. First of all, I've never built one. Second, I don't really like those things. They're big, they're bulky, they make a lot of noise, and they're ugly. Plus, I don't even think it works in this version. I'm on 1.16.3. So another one that I found, it's from a couple of years ago. The video that I am going to be following is by another guy on YouTube by the name of Easygoing MC. I will link it in the description so you can follow, so you can go ahead and follow along and see if it's something that you are interested in. Now, just be in mind that it is very expensive. It requires a lot of materials. I went around and I had to use a lot of cobblestone, a lot of iron, a lot of redstone. I used almost all of the redstone that I have. A lot of the cobblestone, I mean, look, we got like almost 2 stacks of pistons, some sticky pistons, observers, all these rails. I made a bunch of these rails, and then when I went to and I had to go to the super mega spawner so I can mend up some of my tools from when we made the drowned farm for the nautilus shells. I opened up one of the chests and I found out that I forgot that I had already got most of the stuff that we needed was in one of those chests. That's another reason why we need storage and sorting over at the base, so that way I can start bringing all of that stuff back to the main base and have all of it in one location. All of these places, like this one here, if we go and we look in these chests, look, here's some soul soil, crafting station, a clock, some other things in here. There's a bunch of resources that could be sorted, and the other places that I have, like I'll set up a little station over here, and so that I could use stuff and put stuff in it while I'm building, and then I won't have enough room in my inventory to bring it all back home, so it just kind of like stays here and it gets forgotten about, kind of, sort of. So running back and forth in the nether, realizing how much time it takes to actually move around, I came to the realization that actually getting a good amount of ice so we could actually make ice tunnels so that we can get around a lot faster would actually speed things along a whole lot. So that's why I'm doing this first, so we can move around in the nether to gather all of the stuff that we need, and then we can start going from there, because I need to get into the end. I want to get the dragon beat, and I need to get an elytra. I want to do all of that before we build the main base in that little cul-de-sac area in the mountain that I showed you. So let's get started with this. The first thing that I need to do is I need to tear some of this down. So all of these need to come down. I think I'm going to start filling in this water. We have an infinite water source over there that won't freeze because it's covered. As long as you cover it like this, it won't freeze. So I think I'm going to fill this in so that we can get rid of all that water and start over fresh. Okay, aside from the little inconvenience over there, we are all cleared out. And the first thing he has us do is build a platform that is 13 by 12. Now he is doing this up in the air. He built the platform higher up, so it's easier for him to build and show. But if you're going to follow along as well, and you want the ice to be ground level, you're going to have to dig down too. Because right down here, there's going to be rails and a rail cart, and then up here is going to be pistons. Basically what happens is there's going to be a row of water. That row of water will freeze. Pistons will lift it up and push it over. Then more will freeze, get lifted up and pushed over, and it's going to continue along like this. And then we're going to have a rail cart all along here going back and forth. And what that's going to do is it's going to trigger all of the entire row of pistons that we're going to have here to lift up. So as this water is freezing, will get lifted up and pushed over, and as it's getting pushed over, this rail cart going around is also going to be lifting it up. So we're only ever going to have it all the way back here and up. So it's going to be kind of like a giant cube if it ever gets that far. But it's going to be completely automatic, so all we have to do is we can go AFK, and this thing will continue to run and produce a giant tower of ice for us. Then all we have to do is collect it. Now when he starts laying down his rails, he does make a little bit of an error, and he has the rails, I believe he started over there, went back and forth, and ended up over here. So he couldn't go back this way and connect them. So he just had them all come this way. He had a loop come down this way and there, and then just a straight line coming here and stopping, but there was enough juice in the cart to jump the track and then come back and start going again. So I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't matter how you lay down your rails, as long as they connect somehow and that minecart can continuously run. So I'm going to go into the supplies chest and grab our rails. Now everything that's in here, these are not exact amounts. I went a little crazy and I made sure to, I didn't want to have to run back to the base to get more. So I made sure to get plenty. Okay, so now we're going to take our detector rails, and we're going to skip one row and come this way. So we're going to lay up a whole row of them, and we're going to leave 2 on this side. So because you want 8 altogether. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's 3 on this side. And basically you want to just lay these down. Well, not really like that. Oh yeah, you can do like that. Alright, well that was embarrassing. I had to run all the way back to the base to get more detector rails. See, we're having all this ice and making those ice tunnels. That's why we're doing all of this, so that way I can do these projects and not have to constantly keep running back and forth to the base. I'm not sure if I laid these down right. We gotta make sure that the minecart can continuously keep running. And you want this to be on lengthwise. The row that has 13, that's the way you want to go. And you want to leave this first block open. Alright, so I screwed up. In the video, he said to do a platform of 12 by 13. Then he laid out his rails, and he had to add an additional row of blocks. And I thought that what he was saying was that you could have laid these out a different way, so you didn't need that extension. But it turns out that you need that extension anyway. So, do a platform 13 by 13. Skip this row in the back. That back row is where actually the water is going to be. There's going to be a row of pistons to lift the ice up, and then the ice is going to come this way towards me. That's the direction that I want it to go. So if you want to make sure that the ice is going in a particular direction like I am, this is how you set it up. Now, I only have 9 powered rails left, and for whatever reason, he put down entire rows of powered rails. So I'm going to try and keep this a little bit more cost effective. So we need it to come down like this. Oh no, I need more rails. Okay, so I ran out of rails and had to go get more. So here's what we're going to do. I am running low on levers, and I don't have what I need with me to make more, and I don't want to go get more. Which it's looking like I might have to. Okay, so here is what I ended up with. This is also when I was realizing that I messed up. You don't need the car to continuously keep running. You actually do want it to stop. And at some point, something's going to trigger and power this up and send it back on its way, and then it's going to come back around and stop again. So here's an up-high view of what it should look like. If you want to go ahead and take a picture or a screenshot or something so you can continue following along, build this exactly. And back here on this row, you want a piston on the other side of each one of these detector rails, facing up. So, that. Just like that, all 8. Now you want to start placing all your pistons on top of the detector rails, and you want them facing up, like that. And you need 1 over each one of these detector rails. There we go. Now you should have a giant platform of pistons with a row on the backside like this. Next, we're going to need another row of pistons. So we're going to go up 1, 2. We're going to come out 1, 2. And then we're going to break these 2 here. And then this next row of pistons, you want them right there facing in, just like that. Not like that. Need another row of 8 of these. Just like that. Now we can break our blocks. So this is what we should look like now. We've got our giant platform of pistons, a row facing in at the back, and you can't see them here, but there's a row on the bottom facing up. And here's a side shot of what it should look like. Rails, pistons facing up, pistons facing up, pistons facing in. Now we're going to start wiring some of this up and getting things to be activated. We're going to put our pistons away. We need our observers, repeaters, and redstone. Okay, so we're going to come to this side. This is our front side. This is where the ice is all going to be coming to. Put a temporary block there, and then we're going to start placing our observers. You need 8 of them all together, right next to each other. Like that. Now we need to clear a row of blocks behind them. We already have a row of blocks, but I want them all to match. And then we're going to drop redstone on all of them. And over here on this corner, the corner where our minecart is going to come in and stop, we need to clear out some of this. Out another 2, drop some redstone, a repeater, set the 4 ticks. Then we're going to come down here, shift click, we're going to put a block there, we're going to put 2 blocks here. So this repeater is going to power this block, powering this redstone. So if we go ahead and give this a quick pulse, watch the rail down there. See how the rail lit up? That's what's going to start the minecart going again. So here on this side, we need a row of block directly on the back of these pistons. Then we need another row of blocks right where these ones are, but I'm going to swap these out for brick. And on this one, we need repeaters set to 1 tick. Just like that. Next, we need another row of blocks directly above that. Then on this row, you want the repeaters set to 2 ticks. So place it and click once. So it should look just like this. These are set to 1 tick. These are set to 2 ticks. Redstone connecting them. Up here on this one, you want a half slab on the top on this. The rest can be blocks. With redstone on all of them. Next, we need another half slab connecting the two. The temporary block there. The half slab there. And some redstone. And that right there connects these two. So this one will trigger first. Then since this one is 1 tick offset, this one will go second. So it'll lift and then push. So around here on the back, somewhere in the middle, it's not going to be exact because it's an even number, but let's say right here, drop a button. See that? Everything. That's perfect. That's what's supposed to happen. Next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a hopper clock. Now, I'm already somewhat familiar with this. I built one in the server world for the semi-automatic food farm. However, it didn't work all that well. I'm kind of hoping that it was just because it was on a server and maybe it was lag issues or something. But what we are going to do is we are going to take... Oh, you need a redstone block as well. We're going to take a repeater. I'm going to drop it right there. Set the 4 ticks. And behind that, we're going to drop a sticky piston with a block there and a piece of redstone right behind it. Now you want to clear some of this area out back here. So on the back of where we just dropped that redstone, you want to put a redstone block. That'll activate everything. Then on this side, you want to put a sticky piston facing towards the block. You want to skip a block, place another one facing that way. You want to take your hoppers. It might be easier to put a temporary one there. You want a hopper facing that way. You need it to be right here where that gap is. And then another hopper going straight into that one. So you see how they're connected right there, going back and forth. You want a comparator output from both sides, like that. And a block in front of both of them. So the comparator will power that block. And a piece of redstone dust connecting it to the piston. Just like that. We are going to come over here, over to this side. And we're going to encase this to get our water in there. Remove that temporary block. So you want blocks like that, and like that. Yeah. So it's going to look like this. Same thing over here. That. And then you want to fill this whole area here with water sources. So if we drop one block, one water there, skip one, drop another one. Now this middle one, it's an infinite source. So we skip. make sure to fill up all of these so that there's no flowing water at all. You want everything to be still water, so see that? Since this is a water source, it will freeze over. So before anything else happens, you want to take slabs and you want to cover these ends up so that way they don't freeze. There we go. So now the ends and underneath of the pistons will not freeze because they are covered. The last thing that we need to do is we need to come over back to here, go to our hoppers, and put a couple stacks of something in there. So basically what that did is I put 2 stacks of items into this hopper. And what that did was it tripped off this comparator, powered this block, powered this redstone, powered this piston, and it shot over that way. And since this redstone block was already there, everything here was activated. So then once everything from here transfers over to this hopper, because everything's just going back and forth, that set off this piston, which pushed the redstone this way, which turned everything off. And in another minute or so, when everything is back into this hopper, this one will trip and push the redstone block that way and activate everything again. Hear that? So these 3 blocks of water were frozen. These pistons lifted it, and these pistons pushed it. And it's going to continue running like this until either I put like a switch or something like that onto one of these hoppers and lock it, or I remove the items. It's just going to continuously go back and forth. Or I go out of the area, of course. Then, one last thing before I forget, is if that just keeps going, it's going to continuously push the ice this way. So what we need to do is get our minecart in there. So when that ice reaches this end and the observers see it, that's going to trip off this signal. It's going to activate this rail, which is going to send the minecart down all the way down the rails. And every time it passes one of these detector rails, that's going to send a signal up to the piston to push up. So all of this ice is going to eventually get pushed up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hang out around here until the ice reaches here, and then I'll cut you back on and I'll show you what happens when it lifts it up. There it goes, folks. And then the cart should come back. And it stops. And the next time a row of ice comes all the way across, the cart will go again and everything will get lifted up again. So it actually took a while. However, in the grand scheme, if you think about it, when it was just the pool, I had to basically stand and wait for it to freeze over, then go in and mine it out. Now with this, I can AFK, and I can come back to a giant tower of ice. I made sure to bring scaffolding with me so I can climb up to the top and break it all on my way down. So I'm going to go ahead and go, ooh, look at that, that's an interesting. Check that out. One of them melted. I wonder if it has anything to do with this. Interesting development. I think I should get a bucket and clean that up, and then check inside to make sure it's not washing away my all my redstone. Alright folks, it has been 8 hours. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Holy smokes, a giant block of ice. I'm actually surprised it's not taller. I wonder what's up with this. And I'm still not getting these 3 and this 1. They're not freezing. I wonder why. Oh, you know what? There's torches down below. I wonder if that's affecting anything. I did find that if I put like a torch I did put a torch here, and it melted the ice here. So maybe the torches down below are actually not causing this to not freeze. But I want to try something real quick. Let's get the thing going. Oh yeah, look at that. See, the pistons aren't lifting these up anymore. Interesting. I guess maybe it has a limit, a height limit that it can go. Let's grab the scaffolding. Let's head up and see what kind of ice we can get. Oh boy, not bad at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 stacks of ice. That's amazing. How much packed ice do I have? 30 packed ice, and I have some at the base. I think that should be enough now to start my tunnels in the nether. I'm satisfied. I might do another AFK session a little later. If I go in the house and go to bed, wake up, I'll get 9 stacks of ice. So I'm happy with that. So this was an extremely expensive project, but it was very fun. I did enjoy doing it. So if anyone else out there decides to go ahead and build this as well, the link is in the description, and let me know how it goes. But until the next video, this is Den out.